Well, first, let me just say, what a great turnout. This is the kind of things that happen in Spokane, and I really appreciate the effort that each of you have made to be here with us today. We're going to celebrate some of the successes that we've had over the year. We're also going to look ahead at some of the challenges that face us, but the opportunities that go along with that. But before I get started, I'd first like to take a moment to introduce you to a couple of people that have made a big difference in my life. I'd like to introduce you first to my wife, Debbie. Debbie, if you'd stand for just a moment so you'd be recognized. For those of you that know us, you would also know that she definitely is my better half. And thank you for being my partner. And I also want to thank her for all the service that she commits to this community as well. And then I've got another person that I'm really glad that could be with us today that I need to introduce you to. And she's my mother. And Mom, I just raise your arms, but she's from Centralia visiting, and she's able to be here today. And she's accompanied by her husband, Clarence. Some people that have given me the opportunity to be gone from work this last year are my employees at the Journal of Business. And I just can't say enough about that staff, and thank you for covering for me while I was out working on behalf of Greater Spokane Incorporated. And Rich, this is the greatest staff I've ever worked with. The staff at Greater Spokane Incorporated is a staff that we are all really proud of. And so I just want to say this is an outstanding group. And Rich, thank you for your leadership and what this staff does for this community to make it a better place to live. But mostly, I want to thank each of you for your commitment to the Spokane business climate. By supporting Greater Spokane Incorporated with your membership and commitment to this organization, it's you that really makes this organization successful. Thank you, each and every one of you, for the commitment you've made through membership to Greater Spokane Incorporated. It wasn't for many years I sat in the same chairs that you sit in today. And I just want to say that I never believed that one day I might become the chair of Greater Spokane Incorporated. And I have truly been honored to serve in this capacity. I encourage each of you to get involved with this organization, serve on our committees, and you'll never know, maybe one day you'll be standing here as well. I can't say enough about the leadership that serves this organization. Our board of community leaders, they develop a plan, then we work hard. And we take on those difficult challenges to create bold visions and new opportunities for our region. And we have not allowed challenges to become barriers to success. Rather, we have ignited discovery and looked for ways to create regional economic prosperity. These are the same challenges that each of your businesses and organizations face every day. All of us are having to reinvent ourselves with innovation and research in order to accomplish the visions and goals of our future. And all of us do have the courage to compete. I want to introduce you to Dale Janssen, who on a windswept beach in Holland has a vision. He has needed to be innovative and has had to continue for a long term for his commitment to achieve his goals. His resources are limited, yet he is leaving a lasting legacy for future generations.
Come with me, Wallace, to a windswept beach in Holland. Because this is home to an incredible creature that only needs a slight breeze to spring into life.
My name is Theo Janssen. We're here in Ypenburg in Holland, where I work every day. And here I try to make new forms of life, which keeps me busy 24 hours a day. And I want to put those out on the beaches where they can live in the future, and they don't have to eat because they get their energy from the wind.
Theo's been making his creatures for over 20 years, and he's evolving such clever designs that one day he hopes they'll be able to leave home and live permanently in the Dutch sand dunes. Incredibly, his animal-like creatures are only made from PVC. Getting them to walk smoothly was the first step, but his animals still needed their creator to get them going. He had to pull his first creatures up into the wind before they could scuttle back up the beach. But Theo didn't want to always have to pull his offspring up the beach, so the next generation got a propeller. And then, to give them more running power, he borrowed nature's best wind design ever and gave them wings. Through hours of experimenting and trial and error, Theo's designs are becoming more and more independent.
What I've found about this experience of making new forms of life is that you discover all the problems which the real creator must have had creating this world. These animals will survive on their own, just like you raise your children and then there comes a day that you can kick them out of the door and that they live their own lives. And hopefully at the end of my life they will survive a lot better than they do now. Then I could die quietly knowing that I will live on for the beaches, on the beaches.
Now, it's obvious that we're not here to create wind machines, but what an incredible vision. What an incredible legacy this man is leaving behind. And that's what Greater Spokane Incorporated is doing as well. We're taking on bold visions. They are the projects that can take many years to commit and attain results. These are the projects that we have identified as priorities for this past year and upcoming year, and I'd like to go through some of those. First of all, the Biomedical and Health Science Center, the medical school that we've been talking about, is our #1 project, and I've heard Scott Morris and others say this is a game changer for Spokane, and that's exactly what it is. And we've received the funding to break ground October 5th, which is in just a few weeks. The facility will be housing medicine, pharmacy, nursing, and a dental school. This project received $35 million this year, and we will continue to work toward the remainder of capital funding needed to get this project completed. We're striving right now to develop resources to support the University of Washington and Washington State University's development of the second-year curriculum and begin the recruitment of faculty to meet the 2013 start of a full medical school. We're going to formulate a comprehensive plan to support and promote this project. And we need to establish an economic development initiative that's focused on biomedical research and the expansion and recruitment of biomedical companies in this region. I encourage you to go to this website. You probably may not remember it, but I'll try to help you. morethanamedicalschool.com. That will tell you a great deal about what we're trying to accomplish in support of our educational initiative on this school. And then we've been working for many years, and that's that continued effort to stay focused on the end result, and that's the university district. And you know, it was about 12 years ago, 10 years ago, something like that, that this project started. And look at where we are today. Look at the progress that's taken place. You just can't even recognize it if you grew up in Spokane, what this looked like before. And we're supporting the funding for the transportation infrastructure projects that need to be completed to help us develop this project, including the Martin Luther King Jr. Way, the Division Street Gateway, and the pedestrian bridge, which will literally open up this development to the south. And we need to develop the resources to sustain the business plan and the organizational structure to support the necessary move of this project forward. And then a project that we've been working on in Spokane for what? 40 years, 50 years? the north-south corridor. Now that's a real commitment, folks. Well, we're facilitating regional transportation meetings that have led to a single priority project list that includes the North Spokane corridor. So far, the corridor project has spent $613 million in state, local, and federal funding. We still need $1.3 billion to complete this at the current inflation rate. But we're going to continue. We're going to advocate for the funding both in Olympia and Washington, D.C. to keep this project moving forward. The project is on task for the completion of that northernmost section, Wandermere to Francis, and we're partnering with Associated General Contractors and Spokane Area Good Roads Association, and we're going to keep Spokane moving. Thank you, Wayne Brokaw. And you know, one of our most important employers, and I always say the people at Fairchild Air Force Base are the fabric of our community. They're in amongst us. They live with us. They work with us. And they share this community with us. And we're working to make Fairchild one of the first operational bases for the siting of the KC-46A tanker that Boeing was recently awarded the contract to. We're going to continue to advocate for federal military construction funds to modernize the operations out there to prepare that base for receiving that tanker. And this year, we received funding for the Wing Headquarters building and the SEER Training Phase 2 building. We continue to seek new air missions for Fairchild through partnerships with the State Military Department and the Washington Air National Guard. And we're going to continue to prevent encroachment of air, land, height, noise, and congestion. We have got to protect that base, and it's a major priority for us in the Spokane region. So, we also have a new project that's come before us, and I'm really proud that this project has come about because Governor Christine Gregoire launched a project she called Pegasus, and as a tactical effort we intend to keep Boeing in the state of Washington, and we want it to be built right here in eastern Washington. And the airport board has taken this project on itself, and they've brought Project Pegasus forward, and our board is excited about it. We currently have 80 aerospace-related companies in eastern Washington. And GSI and the Inland Northwest Aerospace Consortium are going to work as a statewide effort supported by local and state governments, labor, business, and industry to make sure that the next Boeing plant is built right here in the Spokane region, or at least the subsidiaries that supply that airplane are here. And so with unemployment rates that are hovering right now around 10%, this is about jobs. All of our initiatives ultimately are about jobs. We need to develop jobs for our region. And we need to develop a strategy to sustain economic development funding. Every year, it's harder and harder to sustain the funding for the economic development efforts that we do. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about some of those accomplishments. So, the funding mechanisms that make us competitive with other regions and other counties, we're not keeping up with. We can't compete with Grant County. We can't compete with the Tri-Cities. So we're going to take a serious look and decide whether or not it's time to consider a port district in the Spokane region. Well, let's talk about economic development and the results that we got last year. Our economic development team had some great wins for the region. The recent one that we've all been talking about is Caterpillar Logistics Services, Inc. Also, Global Future Energy Holdings, American Tire Distributors, and Associated Painters all selected Spokane to move to develop or to continue with their industry expansions. We also had 3 retention and expansion wins: Pyrotech, Ecolite Manufacturing, Inland Lighthouse for the Blind, which used the Empowerment Zone expansion. And We also have to look back and say, well, how many jobs did that create for our region at a time when we need them? We created 213 jobs this last year with an annual payroll of $6.8 million, with an annual economic impact for 2011 of $49 million, and a one-time construction impact of over $50 million that's going to be coming. That is an incredible effort and the type of economic development that we need to sustain in this region. Thank you to our economic development team and all those that helped us support gaining these new regional employers. Well, our visions are bold. We continue to strive for the innovation necessary to accomplish our goals, and we're committed to make the Spokane region a great place to do business. Thank you so much for allowing me to serve as your chair this past year. We're going to continue to make Spokane a great place to do business, a great place to live, and a great place to work. And we do have the courage to compete. I thank each and every one of you for your support and your commitment to this organization. Thank you.